and they will by no means escape. 1th 2, 3 labor pains come suddenly, the exact day and hour not being foreknown. The pains first are about 15 to 20 minutes apart, becoming closer together as labor advances. In most cases the time of labor is relatively short, especially in its second stage, but once labor pains begin, the woman knows that a birth is approaching and that the ordeal must be undergone. There is no escape. In the Apostle John's vision in Revelation he saw a heavenly woman crying out in her pains and in her agony to give birth. The child born was a son, a male, who is to shepherd all the nations with an iron rod. In spite of the dragon's efforts to devour it, her child was caught away to God and to his throne. Read 12. 1, 2, 4-6 The sons being caught away by God would denote God's acceptance of the child as his own, even as it was customary in ancient times to present a newborn child before its father for o textoi acute miracle longo. Lachish 188 With the coming of Jehovah's day. Now as for the times and the seasons, brothers, you need nothing to be written to you. You, brothers, you are not in darkness, so that that day should overtake you as it would thieves. 1th 1, 4. Lachish, a Judean city in the Shephelah. Jos 15. 21, 33, 39 Lachish is identified with Tel Egdawir Tel Lachish, a mount surrounded by valleys, and lying some 24 kilometers 15 MW of Hebron. Anciently this site occupied a strategic position on the principal road linking Jerusalem with Egypt. At one time the city covered an area of about 8 hectares, 20 acres and perhaps had a population numbering between 6,000 and 7,500 persons. At the time of Israel's conquest of Canaan, Jephthah the king of Lachish joined 4 other kings in a military offensive against Gibeon, a city that had made peace with Joshua. Jos 10. 1-5 In response to Gibeon's appeal for aid, the Israelite army staged an all-night march from Gilgal. With Jehovah's help, they defeated the Canaanite alliance, trapped the kings themselves in a cave, and thereafter executed them. Jos 10. 6-27. 12. 11 Later, the city of Lachish was taken in less than 2 days of fighting, and its inhabitants were slain. Also, Horam the king of Gezer, who came to the aid of Lachish, suffered defeat. Jos 10. 31-35. Some archaeologists link Israel's campaign against Lachish with a thick layer of ash uncovered at Tel Egdawir, in which, among other things, a scarab of Ramses was found. But the Bible does not state that the city was burned, as it does in the case of Jericho. Jos 6. 24, 25, Jos 8. 28, and Hazor. Jos 11. 11. Rather, Joshua 11. 13 seems to indicate that the Israelites rarely burned a city standing on their own mounds. So there is no scriptural basis for placing the destruction causing the ash layer in the time of Joshua and then dating the Israelite conquest of Canaan accordingly. It is also noteworthy that the Ramses to whom the scarab should be assigned cannot be definitely ascertained. At least one archaeologist attributed the scarab to Ramses III and advanced the thought that Lachish was destroyed by the Philistines in the 12th century BCE during Hoboam's reign 997-981 BCE. Lachish was strengthened militarily. 2ch 11. 5-12 Later, in about 830 BCE King Amaziah fled to Lachish to escape conspirators, but was pursued and put to death there. 2ch 14. 19. 2ch 25. 27. Besieged by Sennacherib. Lachish was besieged by Assyrian king Sennacherib in 732 BCE. From there he sent Rabshakeh, Tartan, and Rabsaris with a heavy military force to Jerusalem in an effort to move King Hezekiah to surrender. Through his chief spokesman Rabshakeh, Sennacherib defied Jehovah and later sent messengers to Jerusalem with letters of continued taunt and threat designed to bring about Hezekiah's surrender. This defiance of Jehovah God finally led to the annihilation by God's angel of 185,000 Assyrian warriors in one night. 2ch 18. 14, 17-35. 19. 8-13, 32-35. Issa 36. 1-20. 37. 8-13, 33-36. A portrayal of the siege of Lachish, from Sennacherib's palace at Nineveh, indicates that the city was encompassed by a double wall having towers at regular intervals and that palms, grapes, and figs flourished in the surrounding hilly area. The scene showing Sennacherib receiving the spoils of Lachish is accompanied by the following inscription. Sennacherib, king of the world, king of Assyria, sat upon an imdu throne and passed in review the booty taken from Lachish like Hisu. Ancient Near Eastern Texts, edited by J. B. Pritchard, 1974, p. 288. Captured by Babylonians. When the Babylonians under Nebuchadnezzar overran Judah 609-607 BCE, Lachish and Azekah were the last two fortified cities to fall before Jerusalem was taken. J. 34. 6, 7 what are known as the Lachish letters written on pottery fragments, 18 of which were found at Tel Ed Dawir in 1935 and 3 more in 1938 appear to O textoi acute